Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the newest edition of Wrestling Vengeance Lowdown. I am your host, the SOA Outlaw, and I'm being joined by another outlaw, the notorious A-Rob, and Lucas the Menace. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
All right, we're here to cover tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw, which pretty much sucked, and yeah. But we're here to talk about what happened last week, which was the return of Brock Lesnar to the WWE. It was reported, the weekend of WrestleMania that Brock Lesnar signed a 1-year contract with the WWE, and it was pretty much confirmed that he was back in the WWE when he returned last week and gave John Cena an F5. Now, the return has created a lot of interest in the WWE, but me and Lucas specifically, I'm not sure what A-Rob's feelings is about Brock Lesnar, but me and Lucas aren't too thrilled with Brock Lesnar's return, and I'm just going to say the reason why. Now, when Brock Lesnar departed with the WWE back in, I can't remember which year it was.
2004.
2004, there you go, A-Rob, thank you. When he departed from the WWE in 2004 to pursue a career in the NFL, which failed. And then it failed miserably, and he went on to compete in the UFC. And during his time in the UFC, he was dominant. He became the UFC World Heavyweight Champion in just a matter of months. He dominated the likes of Randy the Natural Couture, the Texas Crazy Horse, Heath Herring, and he in interviews is that he said that wrestling was pretty much fake and that it was a soap opera, and he was basically damaging the credibility of the business, but I always felt that Brock Lesnar was kind of arrogant, and I still think he is arrogant. And I think that he's only back for the money. I don't think he's here for the fans. I don't think he's here for the respect of the business. I just think he's here just for the money and to soothe his own ego, because his UFC career went down the toilet as a result of having diverticulitis, which pretty much, twice. That pretty much ended his UFC career, and he retired from the UFC months ago after losing, I forget who it was that beat him.
Or something?
Alistair Overeem.
Yes, Overeem defeated him. He pretty much just dominated Lesnar completely, and he retired after that fight. But now Brock is back in the WWE, and he's here to feud with John Cena, and we had the first match of Extreme Rules confirmed as Lesnar will be taking on Cena. But I want to go to you guys with your thoughts on Brock's return and your overall analysis of it. I'll start with Lucas.
Well, first off, to talk about John Cena's promo from last week, I thought he handled the crowd great. He didn't give in to them. He didn't kiss their asses or anything. He was simply out there. He took the hate like a man. He still rose above the hate like he's doing every week. And that's what makes him great, that's what makes him the guy right now. What else can I say? Oh, yeah, he called out The Rock, said he wanted to thank him for the match, blah, blah, blah. Here comes Brock Lesnar's music. The fans go nuts. Cena offers him a handshake, and Lesnar just drops Cena on his ass with the F5. But as far as my thoughts about Lesnar goes, it's pretty much the same thing you just said, Cody. The guy turned his back on what made him famous, and that was the WWE. Now, a lot of people think The Rock turned his back on the WWE, but there's a big difference there. The Rock put over someone, or actually he put over two men who later on went to become the future of this business, and that was Batista and Randy Orton when he went out there to compete against them in a handicap match at WrestleMania 20. The Rock left on a good note because he wasn't a selfish prick and said, no, I'm not putting them over. He actually put over the future of this business. And he said in many interviews that he's willing to work another program with the WWE. We heard it ourselves at the Hall of Fame. You know, The Rock was talking about how he'd love to work matches with Rey Mysterio, with Shawn Michaels, John Cena, or, you know, and he said that he would take his time to come back to the WWE. He still has respect for it. So that's my point there. But with Lesnar, this guy, like Cody said, he said wrestling is fake. WWE is fake. Well, why the fuck did you apply for the job in 2002? Weren't you going to be the next big thing, Lesnar? Weren't you happy being the ruthless, aggressive son of a bitch you were, and then you walk out? Because you were pretty much successful as a WWE superstar, so I have no idea why he wanted to try out the NFL, which he fucking failed at because he only lasted there for the preseason in 2004 with the Minnesota Vikings and then got cut. Not to mention, he goes on to UFC. Yeah, he was dominant, but what happened later? He retired. Oh, my health, my family, I got to retire, and now here he is in a WWE ring. Health my ass, Lesnar. To me, it seems like you just pussied out of UFC because you couldn't stand it. Now, as far as what happened tonight goes, well, actually, we're not going to get into that yet. But, yeah, basically, Brock Lesnar's a prick. I'm not behind this guy. I'm totally behind John Cena. And whoever fucking cheers Lesnar is retarded. Cena is there every week. He fights for the fans. He loves the fans. He cares about the fans. Does Lesnar care about the fans? No. And I'm going to get into more later. This is just getting started, trust me.
All right, A-Rob, what is your thoughts on Brock Lesnar?
Well, I agree with both of you. Brock is only back for the money. He does not care about wrestling. He does not care about the fans. He's just in for the money. After he got diverticulitis twice, his UFC career went down the shitter. And plus, he wasn't doing that well because Cain Velasquez destroyed him in the second last fight. And Alistair Overeem, yeah, you know what happened with Alistair Overeem, even though he's a fucking testosterone freak. But anyways, yeah, Brock's just back for money. He does not give a shit about wrestling. He turned his back on what made him famous. NFL career failed, but overall, he didn't really need to come back. He just came back to, like you guys said, soothe his ego. And unlike The Rock, who cares about wrestling, loves wrestling, and he put over Orton and Batista at Mania 20, and hell, when The Rock left, people weren't as much upset because he was just going to go capitalize on his newfound fame in Hollywood because he was making box office hits like The Scorpion King and I think The Mummy Returns. But overall, The Rock has a successful career in Hollywood.
Well, Lesnar hasn't done shit.
Exactly.
I mean, we could point out so many other aspects that are so bad and awful about Brock Lesnar. The guy's shit in the ring. He had to be carried on the mic by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman basically made Lesnar look like $1 billion, if you think about it. So.
Of course, obviously, when you're with Paul Heyman, he'll make you look like a fucking superstar.
Right.
And I like to add, the thing about Brock Lesnar is that he was another one of those guys that was pushed to the moon by WWE, because he had that look that Vince McMahon just dies for in a wrestler. Big, strong, muscular, the whole 9 yards,
Right.
and that's why Vince pushed Lesnar to the moon.
Right place, right time.
Yep, definitely. And Brock, in my opinion, I'll never deny his athleticism. The guy is a bull. He's strong. He's a great athlete. But I don't understand what was so special about him. I can't remember a good promo that he cut. I don't think he was a great mic worker. I just didn't think he really had, all the tools to be a superstar in the business. I mean, when you think about the greatest of all time, you think about guys like The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, the guys who had charisma. Brock Lesnar doesn't have that much charisma. Now, I'm not saying, he can't cut a promo, because he did decent tonight. Even though I don't like the guy, I can admit that he was doing decent on the mic tonight. But Brock, to him, he's just nothing more than a musclehead douchebag. And I know we're being a little controversial here right now on WV Lowdown, but hey, these are our opinions, and if you don't like them, well, we don't care because they're our opinions, not yours. Okay? I know some of you marks out there are really happy that Brock Lesnar returned, and that's all fine and dandy. You know, we're not going to judge you and stuff like that, but you know, you're praising a guy who turned your back on you for football.
I mean, we're not taking anything away from Lesnar here. There's no doubt. His athleticism, his star power, you know, that's all good because he does bring in that money and that controversy to the WWE. He adds that excitement factor to it. But we're talking about Lesnar as a person. We're talking about Lesnar from a business point of view. As a business point of view, this guy turned his back on what made him famous. And if I were WWE, I wouldn't be too thrilled with that. And not to mention, they're considering him the face of the next face of the company now. They're kissing his ass that much for him to stay here and fucking, I don't know, just make them money. He's burying the entire roster, and you guys are okay with that. Mark?
Yeah, that's another thing, too. I can't believe that they had Laurinaitis go out there and say that he's the new face of the WWE, and that is a bullshit insult to every member of that roster who works their ass off in the ring every single night to get over. I mean, it's an insult to guys like CM Punk. It's an insult to guys like John Cena. It's an insult to guys like Chris Jericho, the guys who actually go out there and entertain the fans.
Indeed.
I mean, it just pisses me off, you know, but I mean, we're going to have to deal with Brock Lesnar being back, you know, we don't like it, but it is what it is.
We only got to deal with him for 1 year.
Well, hopefully it'll just be 1 year, and I also heard the rumblings that they want him to end the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, but that's another story for another time.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, let's get into Raw now.
All right, so Monday Night Raw did start off with John Laurinaitis, the general manager of both Raw and SmackDown. He was, you know, basically kissing Brock Lesnar's ass, telling him he's the new face of the WWE, and he's making the WWE more legitimate. And then Brock came out. He thanked Laurinaitis for bringing him in. And then John Cena came out and slapped Lesnar across the face. They had a brawl. And then the whole locker room came out to separate the two, and it was a pretty hot start to Raw. And John Cena did get busted open here. Lesnar punched him in the mouth. Cena bled from the mouth, and I mean, now I know some people are saying that Cena bladed, but Brock can throw down a pretty good punch. So, you know, I mean, if Cena did blade, you know, he did, you know, but I'm saying Lesnar could bust anyone in the mouth.
Right.
Possible.
But what's your guys' overall thoughts about the segment?
Well,
I'll start with Lucas.
Well, first of all, Cena can't catch a break. This is the second week in a row he gets an ass beating. I mean, at WrestleMania, he was getting thrown real punches from The Rock to his face because we all saw that bruise and that red mark that was on Cena's face at WrestleMania. And now he fucking bleeds from the mouth due to Brock Lesnar punch. And trust me, I would not want to be anywhere near Brock Lesnar's fist because that shit hurts. But I don't know if they have legit beef or something like that, or maybe they just wanted to make the segment look good. You know, they wanted to sell it with the fans and put it over to make it that much more realistic and exciting, etc. But fucking Cena, man. I mean, I got to give props to the guy. He took a beating from Brock Lesnar out there, and he's still smiling, you know, he's still smirking, he's still laid back, he's still keeping his coolness. I like that about Cena. A lot of people may think he's arrogant, but, I mean, he's a good guy. What is there to not like about him? Cena he handled it like a professional, that's all I'm going to say. But that segment, wow, good way to start Raw. Shame the entire night sucked after that, but that segment really got everyone excited because Twitter was exploding, the chats were exploding, the forums were exploding, everything was exploding. And if they do this more often in WWE, wrestling is going to be fun again. and the fact that they threw out the entire roster and officials out there, oh my God, that was amazing. I actually think this is leading somewhere. Like, maybe it's going to be Brock Lesnar, John Laurinaitis, you know, they're going to make some sort of clique, and it's going to be them versus the world, like them versus the entire WWE or something like that, you know, because think about it. Laurinaitis bringing back Lesnar. Lesnar praises Laurinaitis and says he's wise for bringing him back. Then Cena interrupts. This could potentially be a one-year storyline, and it could surpass the change storyline from last year with CM Punk and him walking out and all of that. This could be 10 times better, but you got to question, why the fuck are they having Cena versus Lesnar at Extreme Rules? I thought they would save this for like another pay-per-view, because what's going to happen after that? Cena and is Lesnar just going to leave and Cena feuds with someone else? Like, how are they going to continue this, basically? And Lesnar said, the report said that Lesnar was going to make 2 appearances per month. If he's going to be an active wrestler, he's going to make more fucking appearances than that from now until Mania. There's no way he's going to show up twice and then fight every pay-per-view. You know, he's involved in this storyline now, and once again, CM Punk, the WWE Championship, is taking a back seat to John Cena because obviously he's a top draw, and I understand that, but seriously, when is CM Punk finally going to look like a star? Like, when is he finally... I understand he's over. I'm not saying he's not over, but what I mean is they need to bring back that relevance to the title, and for once, they got to make the champion look good, that they're not an afterthought, because this program between Punk and Jericho is actually pretty solid right here, and we're going to get a whole series of entertaining matches from these two heading from now until the summer, you know, possibly the end of August. And the fact that they're throwing that in as an afterthought to John Cena and Brock Lesnar, it's insulting, because Brock Lesnar comes out of nowhere and they think they can give him the spotlight when guys like Punk and Jericho, as Cody mentioned earlier, have worked their asses off to put on a pretty damn good program each and every week on Raw. But I'm glad Lesnar's a heel here, because there's no way I could take him seriously as a fucking face, not with the attitude and the way, you know, he portrays himself. I just don't like anything about the guy. But yeah, good smart move for WWE to keep him heel, and we just got to see where we go from this. That shit was pretty intense right there. Cena's bitch slap Brock fucking punch Cena's face in. It's leading to some good shit.
Well, I thought the segment was great. I agree with Brock being the heel, even though it'll be like 50-50 since the Cena haters will cheer the shit out of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though I think Cena had a blood capsule in his mouth and he didn't really bleed or get busted open for real, Brock Lesnar's punches would be hard as a motherfucker. Otherwise, I thought the segment was great, came off well. It showed Lesnar as a threat, even though I don't agree with Bryan Danielson being out there, because that crowd, when they saw him, they went wild and they chanted, "Yes, yes, yes." I'm not sure if you heard that. It was kind of faint in the background. And with Lesnar and Cena at Extreme Rules, I think it's too early, because if they saved that for SummerSlam, that would be money. They would get buys for SummerSlam. At Extreme Rules, looks like they're just throwing it out there because they're desperate for a good buy rate.
I would like to add that Danielson, like, he should be a part-time security person at WWE, because he was just like, he was in there and he was pulling Brock back basically on his own, because like he was in the pile and he was helping the guys take Lesnar back to the turnbuckle, and then when Lesnar was going outside the ring, it was basically Danielson dragging him out of the ring, nobody else. So maybe
the man's a pro. The man is a pro.
He's a badass. I mean, just remember the Nexus invasion? He was the one who fucking carried that invasion as well, doing all the crazy shit. So really, Daniel, I don't understand why they're not capitalizing on this man. Everything he does, it's great. Because when you think back to that Nexus invasion, the first highlight you're going to get is Bryan Danielson fucking kicking Cena's face in, spitting on his face, and then choking out Justin Roberts. That's all you're going to remember from that invasion. I mean, God, this guy's over right now, and they're not doing anything. Well, they're not yet, at least, but they should be turning him face. Sending him to Raw, drafting him to Raw. Because, in my opinion, like, he's too good to be on SmackDown right now. With the way SmackDown is booked and the way it's being treated right now as a fucking poor man's Raw or something, he should not be on that show. He's not getting the credit he deserves. He's not getting the focus he deserves because he's been the highlight since the road to WrestleMania on SmackDown, and yet no one is talking about him. That's why they should send him to Raw.
Hell, on SmackDown, after his segments, the show is shit. That man is the peak of the show. And if you wonder why I mark out so hard for Bryan Danielson, that man is amazing. Good in the ring, great talker, just a complete package. If you watch his ROH stuff, you'll see.
Right. And if they don't draft him to Raw and capitalize on the live yes chants every week, that's going to be stupid as hell. Because on SmackDown, we all know the audience isn't as impactful as one where a Raw live crowd would be. So if they send him to Raw, like the fans would just go nuts over this guy. But SmackDown, not so much. Lower atmosphere, edited, tape. They could do all sorts of shit on SmackDown.
And another thing with the whole yes thing, I was against it at first because I thought it was annoying because the marks were doing it. They're like, yes. They were doing that shit and they got on my nerves. But, when they got over with the crowd, I was just like, maybe the yes chants are gonna replace what?
If that happens, they gotta make him a face though, because this whole you're mocking me, stop chanting yes to mock me thing is gonna be so stupid. Just because WWE wants to keep him heel, I could see them doing something like this. That's why they've got to turn him face, because it's not gonna work. The fans are not gonna stop chanting yes.
Yes, I think they really need to turn him into a babyface now, because with the way things are going now, and the fans are starting to get behind them with the whole yes thing, then I think they do need to turn him into a babyface once again, because how is this thing gonna take off if he's a heel? It's not gonna work. And plus, they released a new yes T-shirt
available on WWEshop.com.
There you go, cheap plug to WWEshop.com, where you can buy the new and authentic Daniel Bryan yes T-shirt.
It seems like WWE tries to screw over Daniel Bryan every way possible whenever he has a momentum going. Nexus, they release him, and now this shit. The yes, where they could easily capitalize on it.
And
the fans after Raw last week, when Raw went off the air, they exploded when Daniel Bryan was out there.
Hell, during the week they were doing the yes chants at random sporting events. I heard it happened at a Miami Heat game, a Toronto Blue Jays game, like other sporting events. It's like this chant is fucking over. They have to capitalize on it.
Right.
And plus, when the merchandise reports come out of who's selling the most merchandise, and if the yes shirt is up there, they got to capitalize on them.
Yep.
Definitely. And not to mention, Daniel Bryan got the biggest screw job of all time at WrestleMania, losing to Sheamus in 18 seconds. But, like Lucas said, they're trying to screw Daniel Bryan in every way possible. But, the indie guys always get slack in the WWE. I don't understand it.
Exactly.
Right.
But we'll move on here to we had a tag team match, the Funkasaurus, Rose Clay, and Santino against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Why are they doing this to Dolph Ziggler? Honestly, this guy right here is one of the futures of the company, and yet he's involved in a stupid mid-card comedy feud with Brodus, Swagger, and Santino.
It's just a disappointment. But I gotta say, they booked Brodus good. Since Santino worked the bulk of the match, Brodus just did his spots and got the pin on Ziggler, which I did not agree with. He should have got the pin on Swagger.
Right, because I mean, I see a bright future with Dolph. Swagger, I just think he's never gonna be a main eventer or even close to the main event. Saying it would take a miracle for Swagger to get back to that status, but well, then again, he didn't really have that status to begin with. He was just there to be there, I mean, he was just a fill-in champion, but
transitional champion.
Yeah, transitional champion, but yeah, but I see, the sky is the limit for Dolph, and for him to be involved in something stupid like, Santino, Brodus, and this whole feud that that doesn't really make much sense, but it's whatever, Lucas, thoughts?
I like that they're doing something with Brodus Clay here because, I mean, that squash match after squash match shit was going to get ridiculous and stale, so I'm kind of happy for Brodus. It's not something that big, but at least it's something. He's tag teaming with Santino now, and the fans are going to love him even more because he's going to bring in even more comedy to this. But, like, if they really want to do something with Brodus, just, have him be involved in a one-on-one storyline. I'm sure there's plenty of ways to put over the Funkasaurus without needing help from Santino. And Santino, if he's going to be the U.S. champion, he's got to defend the title. I'm sorry, but I hate when they do that crap. They give the guy a title, and yet they do something stupid, such as forming a tag team with the current title holder to go for the tag team titles. Is that what this is going to lead to? Santino and Brodus winning the titles from Epico and Primo? That's fucking stupid. Come on, WWE. At least take the title off of Santino, put it on someone like Jack Swagger, who would fucking capitalize on that, because Jack Swagger isn't bad. If you remember his days in ECW in 2009, the guy was actually pretty talented, and he worked his ass off on that show. And on SmackDown, he was pretty impressive as the World Heavyweight Champion until the end. But Swagger could easily pick up his momentum. Like, what I would like to see them do with Swagger? Have him be sort of JBL-like, this douchebag, redneck American, kind of cocky, arrogant, acts rich, just talks a lot of crap, something like that. Have a loudmouth. Do something like that with Jack Swagger. Make him as annoying as Michael Cole. That would put him over. Something like that. But come on, if Santino's going to be the title, make it worth it. Make it mean something. And Dolph Ziggler, I agree with you guys. The guy, like, once again, he's involved in stupidity, because last year he was tag teaming with Swagger as well, and look what happened there. They never capitalized on anything. They didn't win the tag titles. It didn't lead to anywhere. So what's this going to lead to? Dolph Ziggler should be main eventing right now. And it's sad, because when you have guys like Lesnar stealing the spotlight from him, that's not going to happen. And Ziggler is over. I mean, look at the Miami crowd from last week.
Oh yeah,
they were chanting Ziggler's name. They were chanting Ziggler's name at WrestleMania as well. This guy is being talked about everywhere.
Definitely.
Also, just add on the Funkasaurus. Even though I do hate him and I hate the gimmick, they just gotta book him like this: short matches or tag matches where he doesn't get exposed like a motherfucker, because he's not that good of a worker. And with Santino, yeah, he's got to defend the title. Even though it doesn't mean jack shit, they got to defend the title.
I just thought of something. Since Dolph Ziggler has this weird gimmick where he likes to walk around with an ass cape, and just do crazy, stupid shit, why not have him in a feud with Brodus Clay? Who's the bigger freak? Who's the bigger creep, or something like that? I think that would be pretty entertaining. Like, seeing Dolph Ziggler try and creep out I was gonna say Brock Lesnar, Brodus Clay, or having Brodus Clay try and creep out Dolph Ziggler. I think that would fucking be great comedy right there. I mean, if you're not gonna do something with Ziggler, at least have him, be a creep with his ass cape, fly around looking like an ass man or something. I don't know. Fuck.
Ass man 2.0.
Yep. Do something with him and Brodus. I think that would be hilarious. Brodus trying to creep out Dolph Ziggler.
Brodus would go over, though, which sucks.
Yeah, that's true. The fans would want to see more of Brodus Clay creeping out Dolph Ziggler than they would Dolph Ziggler creeping out Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay, he freaks me out whenever he dances without the sweats on.
I mean, Dolph Ziggler is just so unique and creative and intelligent in his own way. He hides what he can really do, and that's the secret part about this guy. He's more of an inside joke type of guy because, trust me, Ziggler when he wants to rise to the top, he'll show it. If you've seen his videos with Zack Ryder on Z True Long Island Story, you'll see Ziggler's true personality. I mean, Ziggler is capable of so many things, but WWE just doesn't let him show it.
Exactly, I agree.
And also, those WWE download segments that he does, really articulate. Right. Really articulate. He's on point. The guy is awesome, flat out.
He's a guy who you need to pay close attention to because if he says something on the mic, you're going to lose him because he talks pretty damn fast. And those inside jokes after inside jokes after inside jokes he does, it's hard to keep up with him, and that's what's great about Dolph Ziggler. He's unique.
Definitely. And he's one of those guys who I thought wouldn't get to the status he's at now, which, has been really surprising. But Ziggler is a damn good worker. He's one of the best that the WWE has right now, and he's one of the best talents that mainstream wrestling really has these days.
And hell, he even said it in an interview a month back. He said in an interview that he wants to stand out and be mentioned with the likes of The Rock and Austin and those types because he said he has his own. He said that just like The Rock has his own promo style, Dolph Ziggler also has his own promo style as well, and he's going to work on getting to that level where WWE fans will recognize him for something different and something that stands out from the rest. So far we haven't seen that yet, but I'm pretty sure we will see it in the future.
Definitely.
You just gotta get over with the mainstream audience, because the insider IWC fans, they know he's good and they love him, but he just gotta get over with the normal fans, the fans that watch the shows but don't really know what's going on behind the scenes and stuff. Yeah, hell, if they give him the gimmick of a fast-talking guy, he could get over that way.
That's right.
So what A-Rob's trying to say is that he needs to get over with the casual fans.
Exactly, pretty much that.
Yeah.
And he needs to be memorable. Dolph Ziggler said this himself in an interview. He said he would like to be there with the likes of The Rock, as far as charisma, personality, and promo style goes, because if Ziggler has his own promo style, that's really going to make him stand out and become a superstar overall.
I think if they let him present him, if they would let him present himself how he does in his WWE YouTube segments, I think he'd be well on his way.
Yep.
It's just he needs to split from Vicky. Even though Vicky is great on the mic and attracts a lot of heat, he just needs to break away from Vicky so he can get more promo time and showcase that fast-talking skill.
Right.
I mean, he's like one of the biggest workhorses, if not the biggest. Well, all right, I'm not going to exaggerate there, but he's one of the biggest workhorses in the ring.
Oh my God, you should see the bumps that this man takes for no reason.
He sold that that Ryder finisher at WrestleMania like a pro.
Hell, last week he sold the Funkasaurus' headbutt like a motherfucker.
Oh, that was fucking brilliant.
I know, that was hilarious.
And Ziggler, he can sell anything. I mean, anything you can throw at this guy, he can sell it like it's $1 million.
He will sell for you.
And that super kick is right on, spot on. That super kick that he does, spot on.
For sure. And then we had some stupid, pointless backstage segments with Santino and the Three Stooges. Oh my God.
Oh, this is what pretty much took over the show here.
Do we have to?
I don't want to, but...
Well, yes, we have to because I want to, do the mocking of Hulk Hogan thing later, so...
That's what
we're all going to do it, damn it.
I'm not going to say what occurred, but I just want to say my thoughts on it. Why do we have to do this stupid celebrity crap with WWE RAW? It's getting pointless. No one wants to see these celebrities rolling around. Yes, does it give WWE publicity in the mainstream media? Yeah. But at the same time, no one cares.
I mean, you had a pretty damn good start to Raw, and then they want to mess it all up with this crap. Couldn't they save this for something else? I mean, do they not realize by now that wrestling for once is back? It's been better for what? Anything we saw in the last 3 years, and they want to fill in the show by doing this crap. That time right there could have been used for something better. I mean, I don't know. Fuck WWE with that shit. Stupid Three Stooges. Come on, what the fuck? And we saw the same thing at WrestleMania too. Santino and Mick Foley and that other guy smashing their whatever they were doing, elbowing the plates. That was retarded.
Lobsters and stuff.
Yeah, and then Ron Simmons is like, damn. I mean, that's some corny crap right there. No one needs to see that on a pay-per-view on the grandest stage of them all. We're here to see wrestling, not some stupid backstage segments. And they do the same thing here. How do they expect for the fans to remain tuned into their product, remain invested into their product 2 weeks after the biggest pay-per-view of the year by doing this crap? They came off of WrestleMania, which was excellent and was an A-rated show and will be one of the top WrestleManias of all time. And then to follow up on that, to follow up from the Miami red-hot, exciting crowd from last week and Brock Lesnar's return, this is what they do to follow up on it. Does WWE not realize that they are losing their viewers by doing this? How many fucking... How much did the ratings go down when they saw that crap? Seriously.
Probably lost 1 million viewers.
Yeah, I wouldn't stick around to watch that crap myself. I'd probably.
This is a problem with WWE. Inconsistency. They need to stay consistent year out, not just Road to WrestleMania time, not just the night after WrestleMania. Every single week, the 365 days of the year. Be consistent. Don't give us one night of a good show after the night of WrestleMania, then put on this crap. No.
Right. And I'd like to bring some news to the show. There are apparently 2 WWE divas who might be leaving the company. I just stumbled upon this news. It says the Bella Twins are rumored to be leaving the WWE when their contracts expire on April 30th. The American Icon Autographs president Sean Jacoby told DivaDirt.com that the duo will not re-sign with the company and that he is handling their post-WWE bookings.
Speaking of the Divas, they haven't been on Raw in 2 weeks, or am I mistaken? Were they on tonight or last week? Because I don't recall seeing them.
No, the only thing last week was the Eve Torres promo.
Wow, I mean, I wonder what's going on with the Divas backstage, because this is the second consecutive week in a row where they're not on the flagship show. Something must be happening in the back with the Divas right now that is provoking them from being on television. And if it has to do with the Bellas or, several releases coming up at the end of the month, then I can see why. But to be more specific with this news, the Bella Twins tweeted during Raw, during a commercial break, and I'll try to find the tweet right now. They tweeted something about never listen to rumors or something like that. They tweeted, so I'm guessing
trying to do some damage control.
Yeah, they simply hinted at them staying with the company by saying that don't believe everything you hear. So I don't know if this is true or not, or the Bellas are staying, but something's happening in the back with the Divas right now.
Pretty much. Maybe they're upset with how they're being used on TV, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And maybe they're using their maybe they're threatening to not resign to get a leg up on creative or Vince or whoever.
Well, to be honest, no one cares about the Bellas. They suck in the ring. They're horrible on the mic. The only reason why they're employed with the company is that they're identical twins and they can be booked easily.
All right, here's the tweets I got from them. Don't believe what you hear. Tune in to WWE Superstars this week. You won't be disappointed. Besos. And then to follow up on that, don't believe what you hear. # Bella Army. How about that Cena and Brock fight? So I'm guessing.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm guessing they don't want us to believe that they're leaving. You know, who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, if they are parting ways with the company, then you know I'm not gonna take it as a huge loss because I don't care about the Divas division. I mean, it will just open up the way for the FCW women to get called up.
Well, you know what could be the problem? I saw this on the Wrestling Vengeance forum. Jessica or somebody posted a video of Amy DeMoss, Lita, at the WrestleMania Fan Access, just trash talking the Divas of today and everything like that. And she basically said that after her and Trish left, the Divas division became shit. They couldn't follow up on their extraordinary work. So maybe it has to do with something with that. Maybe they're mad at what Lita said. They felt disrespected. They felt embarrassed, and due to that reason, like, they're rioting, I guess. I don't know, but something is going on with the Divas, and I think Lita saying that and humiliating them in public is one of those reasons, one of those factors why something's going on in the back right now. Something had to provoke them because this doesn't happen overnight.
Right. Maybe there's like a strike going on backstage that we're not aware of.
And the Bella Twins are the Divas who the WWE consistently put on Raw every week. So now I understand why the Divas haven't been on TV lately. It's because the Bellas are the ones who are mostly there anyway, so they have an influence as to why the Divas aren't getting TV time, because they're pretty much the only ones that compete on Raw, aside from Kelly and Beth Phoenix and Eve, you know.
Or they could be pissed because Eve Torres is getting the most of the spotlight in the Divas division, and they're pushing her as the new heel of the Divas division, and forgetting about Beth Phoenix, which is another topic we should get into, the mistreatment of Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres. Well, she's improving slowly, even though she's not that great in the ring. She kind of needs to be carried, but her promos in recent weeks, they haven't been extremely bad, but they've been okay.
Oh, and here's, to quote Lita, here's what she said. It's a bummer to see where the women's division has gone after Trish and I came in there and kicked ass. Now, Lita came off very, very arrogant with that statement, because when Lita left, the Divas division was still pretty fucking good. You had Melina, Mickie James, Maria, Beth Phoenix when she first came up, Ashley, you had Candice Michelle. They were still pretty good, entertaining divas. It's just recently that it has become shit. Well, not recently. It's actually been a good, 2 years, 3 years, because the last time the Divas division was somewhat decent was when Lay Cool was there. Now it's shit. So for Lita to say that, that's pretty damn disrespectful in my opinion, and unprofessional. So I could see why the Divas in the back could be ticked off at that.
Well, Lita's kind of right though, because the Divas division sucks now. I would say it started going downhill very slowly after her and Trish left in 2006. It was still okay in 2007, but in the past few years, it's just gone down the shitter. It's horrible, and this is why no one cares about the Divas.
Pretty much. And to follow up on what you said with Beth Phoenix, yeah, this definitely has to do with something that's going on. I mean, she's a Divas champion. She got pinned by Maria, the extra
Nikki Bella.
lady.
Nikki Bella
Right.
on SmackDown.
Yeah, she got pinned twice post WrestleMania week. That's pretty embarrassing. Why couldn't Eve take the pin at WrestleMania? She's not the champion. They needed to make Beth look strong because she's a champion. And
Beth must have
the fact that she got pinned by the celebrity, that's pretty damn stupid.
Now, I'll just say this right here now. If you're a women's wrestler looking to, be at the highest level, then I would say going to Shimmer or being in TNA's Knockouts division is probably your best route, because being a successful women's wrestler in the WWE, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, to say something about Shimmer, you're going to have great 20-minute matches because all the women there are amazing. But the only real problem with Shimmer is that they tape 4 times a year in Berwyn, Illinois, and they get the word out from DVD releases and that stuff. So not a lot of people know about them. And as for the Knockouts division, yeah, you could be successful there, because Angelina Love is a great example, because she was in WWE Developmental for a while and then they released her. And now she's in TNA, and she had a lot of success, like 5-time Knockouts champion.
Wow.
Yeah,
and Cody interviewed Mischief, I believe, sometime last year. I think it was this time last year he interviewed Mischief about what her thoughts were in going to TNA or WWE, and but I don't know if you remember what she said, but didn't she say something about how women's wrestling in WWE and TNA, it's not the same as Shimmer? Let us know what she said if you can recall.
Well, yeah, I did interview Mischief last year.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We talked around, I believe the winter time, February, I think, and she told me that, it's just not women's wrestling in general as to why she is turned off by going to TNA or WWE. It's just the control factor, that she wouldn't have as much say into her character as she would on the independent scene if she was working in ROH or Shimmer. It's just that the WWE and the TNA, when you sign with them, they basically own you. They own your name, they own your character, and the direction your character goes. And that's just the thing that that she did not like. And that's why she never will sign with TNA or WWE. She says that TNA's asked her several times, and she said no every single time because of that.
Also, doesn't she have a job as a scientist or something?
Yes, she does that when she's not in the ring, and that's her other profession outside of wrestling.
Yeah, she's I can't remember the name of it, but something with germs.
I mean, she brings up a good point there. WWE and TNA do love to be very abusive with these divas and control them. I mean, I'm not trying to say they're evil or anything, because the divas division can actually be pretty good, and it can be about wrestling. I mean, you could just look back at years and you'd see that divas can actually wrestle in the WWE and perform to a certain extent. But basically what Shimmer's trying to say is she's afraid she would be used wrong, and she's not the only one who thinks this. Even male superstars have thought the same thing. Shelton Benjamin, for example, on his way out of WWE in 2009, was it, or 2010? He said
2010, I believe.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to be looked at as, a cartoonish superstar, entertainer, or something like that, because basically his motto was to be a professional wrestler all along, and he denied wanting to be a WWE main event world champion in the WWE because he wouldn't be able to be that professional wrestler that the WWE wanted them to be, and that's why he signed with ROH and went with them in 2010, because that's what he was more about. He wanted to be that professional wrestler that he is looked at all over the world, not some, quote-unquote cartoonish sports entertainer, as he said. So, Shimmer is a pretty damn good place for women's wrestling. And Mischief is not the only one who thinks this about WWE and TNA. She is entitled to her opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. All right. Now we'll get back to the Raw review. We've been kind of going off topic, but that was just some news that I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention. That the Bella Twins might be leaving the WWE in the near future. Maybe not. We'll just have to see where that goes. All right. We'll jump back to Raw. We had Cody Rhodes versus R-Truth. This match did not last very long. Basically a repeat of last week when Rhodes faced Kofi Kingston. Big Show came out and he basically replayed what Big Show did to him last week and showing how Cody lost to him at WrestleMania, and R-Truth hit his finishing move when Cody turned around and got the 1, 2, 3. So seems like Cody Rhodes will be jobbing to the mid-carders who have nothing to do, and horrible direction for Cody Rhodes going forward.
Now, unless they're planning to draft him to Raw and wait for then to capitalize on his momentum that he's been on lately, then I understand. But if they're simply doing this for the hell of it and they're not planning to do anything big with him, then that's fucking a disgrace, because Cody Rhodes had one of the best title reigns in WWE history, and yes, I'm not exaggerating. He had one of the best title reigns in WWE history by reaching a milestone in having a reign of 200 days, and hell, even more than that to be exact. Cody Rhodes, I mean, yeah, he didn't defend the IC title that much, but that's not what being a champion is all about. Sometimes it's not just about defending championships. It's about looking good. It's about being a performer. It's about being memorable, getting yourself over to the next level. That's what being an Intercontinental Champion is all about, getting yourself to the next level, and that's what Cody Rhodes did. He capitalized on being champion. He performed to an extent. He got people to talk about him. He became noticed, and now people want this guy in the main event scene, and the fact that they're jobbing him out makes no sense. Big Show is your past, and the fact that they put the title on him, what is WWE going to gain from that? Absolutely nothing. The most they could gain is have Big Show vacate that title and have Cody Rhodes re-win it or regain it, because Big Show's really not going to do anything with that title. He's just going to make it look more like a joke. So I don't know why they have that title on him, but Cody Rhodes, like, if they really want to end this feud with the Big Show, I think they got to draft him to Raw. But I don't think they're ending this anytime soon, now that Big Show is teasing Cody Rhodes like Cody Rhodes was teasing Big Show. So, I mean, this whole feud is fucking stupid. Cody Rhodes and Big Show don't have any sort of chemistry whatsoever. They don't know how to work against each other in the ring, as we saw at WrestleMania, and their promos just don't match up with each other. They're not CM Punk's or Chris Jericho's. They're not Austin's and Rock's. It's fucking Big Show. Come on. Cody Rhodes needs better. He deserves better than this, because he's earned everything that has been given to him. He went from being Orton's lackey to being the Intercontinental Champion. Come on.
Hell, I even mentioned this in our last podcast. Cody Rhodes should be in the main event, and he is the future of the company. Because I thought at WrestleMania they were going to end the feud with him and Big Show, because it made the most sense. Big Show went in, getting the IC title, feud's over, then Cody gets elevated from here, but now they're continuing the feud. I do not know why. It's so fucking stupid. Because why the hell would you continue it? There's no point. Absolutely no point. And now probably Extreme Rules, Big Show will probably beat Cody again, and that'll kind of hurt Cody a lot, because like Lucas said, everyone started noticing him that he's fucking good in that shit. But my God, they gotta end this feud, get him elevated again, and by the summer be main eventing.
They basically had him feud with Big Show because they thought Big Show would be a good guy to get him over. Yeah, that worked 8 years ago when John Cena defeated the Big Show at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. It worked then, but Big Show is not what he once used to be. He's not that dominant giant that everyone wants to see anymore. Big Show has become a joke. He's not that relevant in the WWE anymore, so by feuding with him, you gain nothing out of it. It's not accomplishing anything for Cody Rhodes, as we're seeing right now. Cody Rhodes needs something different. He needs a better program to work with on television. He needs a better opponent. He needs someone else to work with, period.
Hell, plus Big Show flip-flopped so many times from heel to babyface, heel to babyface, heel to babyface. It's just, there goes his credibility. But the problem is... Oh, go ahead.
Look at the past feuds the Big Show has had. One that comes to my mind is Straight Edge Society versus Big Show in 2010. What the hell did CM Punk gain out of that? Oh, I'll tell you what he gained. He gained going to commentary because that's how fucking awful that feud was. Not to mention Big Show broke up the entire Straight Edge Society, and it basically buried CM Punk, and he had to press the reset button on him. And now look at him. He's the best in the world, but it's not because of Big Show. It's because of himself and because he got himself over. And then another feud. Didn't we have that feud with New Nexus? Again, it did nothing for them. Big Show is not the guy he used to be anymore. So to feud with him means nothing. The Core even feuded with this guy.
I'm actually starting to dislike and not respect Big Show now because he's a big dumb bastard and he needs to go away. He's old. He's not. No one cares about him anymore. The only people that do are little kids, and that's it. You know, Big Show is nothing more than the jolly green giant of the WWE. That's all he is.
Not to mention he accidentally injured Wade Barrett, and what does he get? He gets the Intercontinental title. Really, WWE, the man who you were supposed to have win Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, gets injured by Big Show, and yet you still give Big Show a reward and give him the title? Really?
Jesus Christ.
That makes a lot of sense.
And with Big Show, he is one of the greatest big men to ever walk in the ring because he can fucking work. But now it's just like what I said before. He's been flip-flopped so many times, he lost his credibility. And only little kids like him because when Big Show comes on, he just panders to the kids with his dumb comedy.
Right. I mean, he even ruined Mark Henry when he had that world title. So, like I said, working with the Big Show isn't that effective anymore. Trust me. It's not at all.
If I was a young superstar and I was had potential and stuff like that, and they wanted me to go up against Big Show, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it because I know where this is going.
Thing, like, get that big fuck away from me right now. Nope.
Like, look, I don't care if you bury me on Superstars for 2 months until you actually do something with me. I don't want to work with Big Show.
Oh my God! I mean, Mark Henry, he was probably pissed at the fact that he gained nothing. I mean, I'm not necessarily putting all the blame on Big Show here because it takes two to put on a crappy feud. Because let's be honest, Mark Henry kind of worn himself out as well at the end, and he got stale. But a lot of it, or part of it, had to do with the Big Show not living up to expectations in this feud. I mean, he wasn't that ruthless. He wasn't dominant at all. He was basically Mark Henry's bitch, and the fact that he still went out there and made jokes and pondered to the kids while you had Mark Henry who was attacking him each and every week, making him look like a pussy, and Big Show still did nothing about it. That's what made Mark Henry hurt as a competitor and as a serious champion.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on here to Lord Tensai versus Yoshitatsu.
Oh, God. Kill me.
Interesting fact, the crowd was chanting, Albert, 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 Albert.
Screw this whole Lord Tensai crap.
I mean, dude, it just seems like he might as well came back as A-Train, you know?
Right.
I know.
This gimmick, I don't see how it's going to get over. I mean, come on. It's the same thing with Umaga. It's the same thing with Vladimir Kozlov. It's the same thing with any other typical generic dominant giant monster heel who comes into the WWE and does the same crap, and that's bury their opponents. Bury, squash. How do you gain anything out of that? Seriously. If I were WWE, I'd do something way better for Lord Tensai, but the fact that they're doing this crap, it's not interesting at all, and I don't see how the fans find this entertaining, because that squash match was a joke.
Exactly. But also, about Umaga, he was good, and after a while,
good.
Yeah, and after a while, he wasn't squashing people. He was having good matches, like that match at the Royal Rumble with John Cena. My God, that was amazing.
Right.
But Vladimir Kozlov
fucking shit. He doesn't live up to that aspect that someone like Umaga did. Not at all.
Oh, exactly. They just gotta test him, because I know that John Bernard, his name in Japan, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for. I mean, he's good feud with Cena, apparently. Then we'll see if he actually improves in Japan.
Oh, that's when he's really going to get hurt, because once you feud with John Cena, it's back to burial with you, and no one's going to give a crap about him anymore after being destroyed by John Cena. There's no way they're going to have Lord Tensai go over John Cena. So if that happens, goodbye, Lord Tensai, and good luck with your career, buddy, because you're going to get buried after that. The same thing happened with Sin Cara. The same thing has happened with so many others who came in, had a momentum, bam, they just fucking disappeared, no longer in the spotlight.
Pretty much too much hype, and high expectations, too much hype, turns into disappointments.
And I guarantee to you, by the end of the summer, early fall, no one's going to be talking about Lord Tensai. And all those marks on the chat right now who support Lord Tensai, 6 months from now, they're going to be the same guys. Oh, fuck Lord Tensai. This guy sucks. Get him away from the WWE ring because he sucks. He's boring. Oh, my God. Or they're going to say, well, if the WWE creative team booked this guy wrong, I mean, come on.
Hell, they just could turn him back into Albert, and no one would give a fuck.
Right. Send him back to FCW or Japan, wherever the hell he came from.
I don't know why they re-signed him to begin with. What? Just because he developed a big following in Japan? You're hoping to capitalize off of that?
I mean, John Laurinaitis got a huge following from Japan. So what?
Well, John
Laurinaitis was never the greatest. He wasn't good.
Exactly.
But,
Lord Tensai isn't great either. Well, in my opinion.
But also in Japan, he was in a lot of tag matches with Carl.
That's right. He got carried by his brothers. Because as Jim Cornette says, by the way, if you haven't checked out that interview, go on WrestlingVengeance.com and check it out. In the media section, Jim Cornette shooting on John Laurinaitis.
That was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Cornette shoots are the best.
Jim Cornette's the man.
Yep. Oh, by the way, that shoot was like 3 years ago, and how it still makes sense.
Jim Cornette's just a smart guy. He might not. A lot of people may not agree with him, but Batman is smart.
He is.
Indeed. He's one of the best minds in the business for sure.
Hell, I actually met him a few years ago, and I shook his hand and said, "Thank you."
Oh, by the way, I'm not trying to offend you here or anything, but I got to bring this up. Did you ever watch the Jim Cornette rant on Canada? That was hilarious.
Oh yes. It's true. The border is dick. The borders are dicks. I swear to God.
Oh my God, Jim Cornette hates Canada. No, but seriously, the guy, he's brilliant. It's funny as fuck too.
Definitely. And this will bring us to something that we can actually care about. CM Punk and Chris Jericho, the follow-up from last week. As you guys know, last week, Chris Jericho attacked CM Punk, made him pour liquor on his face, and they smashed a bottle over his head. And he took the mic, and CM Punk took the mic this week, and he spoke about being straight edge And it's been a long time since we heard CM Punk talk about being straight edge and what it means to him. And, he said that, being straight edge is a big deal to him. He's never had one beer or one cigarette. He's never did drugs. It was just a choice for him and a lifestyle. And he's talking about Chris Jericho, and he's saying that this isn't about being the best in the world. It's about kicking Chris Jericho's ass. And Jericho, he came out. I mean, he came on the Titantron. He's being a coward, and he said that Punk is going to slowly, more and more, become like his dad and be an alcoholic, and he's going to, like taking drinks and all. Jericho's basically playing the mind games. We know how he does, but this led to a match with CM Punk and Mark Henry for the WWE title once again, and this match lasted 2 minutes. Punk got disqualified, and then afterwards Jericho came out, attacked CM Punk. Punk tried to fight back, but Jericho dropped him with a code breaker, and Jericho had 2 12-packs of beer, and he poured them on CM Punk, basically doing what he did last week. And this feud it went into a 180 direction. First, it was about being the best in the world, and we went from that to this.
Right. It kind of seems weird if you think about it, but the feud is still pretty good. It's just you're right. Like, the way it just changed, how quickly things changed over the course of 1 month. Because I swear, Punk and Jericho were talking about outperforming each other at WrestleMania right before the event, and now it's not even about outperforming each other in the ring. It's about fucking mind games, getting personal. So I don't know what their direction is with this, but I still like it. I'm still a fan of it. And hell, this is a Chris Jericho we needed to see from the start when he returned on January 2nd of this year. We needed to see more of that sarcastic, evil, witty Chris Jericho who likes to play mind games and be a joker, because that's what his old It Begins moniker was about. That's what he came back for, to play mind games, to have power, mind control, and all of that. That's what Chris Jericho was hinting towards in the cryptic video packages you'd see before his return. And yet after that, it's like he started losing. He became the same old Chris Jericho of before, but now he's really starting to show that uniqueness and that difference from the Chris Jericho of the past to the Chris Jericho of the now. And the Chris Jericho of now is much more evil and dark. And, I like that. We need to see more of that in order to make this feud interesting. And, Jericho is going to dominate this feud for a while. I could see him possibly becoming the WWE champion at the next pay-per-view Extreme Rules, because it's in CM Punk's hometown of Chicago, and what better way to gain so much fucking heat and get over as a top heel on Raw than by walking out of Chicago, Punk's hometown, with the WWE Championship, especially if it were a screwy finish where let's say John Laurinaitis, added some sort of controversial stipulation to it. But yeah, I could see Jericho becoming the WWE champion next month and then holding the title possibly until SummerSlam, because we all know that's how long this feud is going to last. It's going to be a whole long summer program like with Orton and Christian last year, and we're going to see the same thing here. But yeah, I love where they're going with the direction of Chris Jericho and CM Punk, and he's really starting to show to us and hint to us what he meant when he said he was coming back to take what's his. So yeah, we're pretty much seeing that now. But although there's still mystery behind all of this, we still don't know who she is. He still hasn't told us the reason. Well, he already told us the reason why he came back. But what I'm trying to say is he hasn't revealed exactly everything, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see from what happens from now until next year with Chris Jericho, because I heard that he's actually planning to be here longer than just the summer, and he's working a full long schedule now. So it seems like Chris Jericho is going to be around until the end of 2012 at least, and possibly WrestleMania next year as well. So, but I'm happy for CM Punk because for once he's looking like a strong, well, not a strong babyface because he's playing the weak role in all of this, but he's getting really, really over with the fans by being the innocent babyface in all of this. And, you know, being the one who to want to come after Jericho and kick his ass and everything. Because for a while, CM Punk was sarcastic, and even though I like that about Punk, even though it makes him stand out, you really got to be that babyface who you have sympathy to in order to get over, because that's happened several times with John Cena. You know, it works with every single babyface, the one who wants their revenge after being humiliated and everything like that. So I'm happy for Punk because at the end he's going to win, and he's going to be put over by Chris Jericho pretty good, you know.
The segment tonight was great. I loved it from start to finish. Punk cut a great promo about being straight edge and why he is straight edge. Then Jericho on the Titantron cut a good promo as well. Overall, I like the segments, and Punk is doing good in the role of playing the babyface that everyone gets behind and not being as sarcastic as he is.
Right.
And I'm just waiting until CM Punk says, Jericho, you're arrested for public intoxication a few years ago. Remember that?
Oh, that would be fucking great, man.
I can't wait till he says that. That will be hilarious.
But yeah, like the only negative about this whole thing is CM Punk is not delivering the way he should be on the microphone, and that's not his fault. I know WWE is behind that. They want to limit Punk's work on the mic in order to make him seem weak, so the fans can get behind him. Like I said earlier, because that's what it takes to be a top babyface. You got to be that. You got to be that guy who they feel sorry for every once in a while. And Punk, he needed this because if he wants to be taken seriously as a babyface, he has to be that mean. Yeah, he has to have a mean streak in him in which people would want to see, you know, and he wants to see people want to see him kick ass. All of this, you know, be mean on the mic, be serious for once, and Punk is finally doing that. And even though he wasn't shooting at Jericho or he didn't come with his jokes, he still cut a good promo about his lifestyle, straight edge. And Cody's right, we haven't seen that since 2010, him cutting a promo about being straight edge. But you know what? It's golden.
Exactly. And I think I said this before, but I thought Punk should retain at Extreme Rules. But I honestly think Jericho should go over now Extreme Rules because Punk got the win at Mania. Now it's time for Jericho to get the title and keep the feud going.
Right, because if Punk beats him, like, there's really not going to be any more point to keep continuing this unless Jericho keeps finding ways to rile on Punk and keep trolling him. But other than that, like, this feud can't. The only logical way to continue this feud is by having Jericho walk out of Chicago with the WWE Championship.
Exactly. We don't want this to be another Randy Orton Christian.
Oh, God, hell no. I mean, even though those matches were good, Christian, like, he wasn't even a serious competitor or a serious threat to Orton, and we all know he wasn't getting the title back anyway. So that didn't work.
Orton was just winning every match. But anyways, Jericho should walk out of Chicago as the WWE champion. The crowd will be booing him like a motherfucker. And then the next night on Raw, Jericho would cut a great promo about I came into CM Punk's hometown and I walked out the WWE champion.
Yeah,
that's how great. Oh, go ahead.
Just have him be that sarcastic jackass who smiles at the camera, starts trolling the fans the next night. No, you know what would be great? He enters the ring with the title the same way he did his return, just speechless, starts smiling and laughing, and then he just walks out. I'm the WWE champion. I'm the WWE champion. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
he walks
exactly.
to the back.
And just to finish my point, him winning the title in Chicago next night on Raw, he just either, like you said, stay silent, hold the title up, and let the crowd boo him, and let it soak in, and basically make Punk the unanimous babyface in this, and Jericho the heel.
that would transcend him into being what he really wanted to be, and that's the best in the world at what he does.
Exactly.
And we'll move on to more of WWE Monday Night Jobbers, with Zack Ryder losing to Alberto Del Rio by submission in a minute 25. Why are they doing this to Zack Ryder?
Simple. They just want to bury him because he got over by the internet, and WWE loves to fuck with the internet.
That's probably so. And plus, Del Rio's one of the Golden Boys, one of Vince's Golden Boys. You know, they have to keep blowjobbing him through the card. You know. So.
It's ironic because Zack Ryder has a DVD coming out, and
really, he does.
And they're squashing him.
I never heard of this.
Yeah, supposedly Zack Ryder has a DVD coming out.
Is he releasing it, or is WWE releasing it?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know if it's official. I just heard rumors of a Zack Ryder DVD coming out, but I don't know how accurate that is.
A Zack Ryder DVD now would be way too early, since, like, if Zack Ryder got higher up on the card, then they could make a DVD. But now, since they're jobbing the fuck out of him, why would they release a DVD of him? It makes no sense.
Or maybe it was a joke from the Z True Long Island stories or something. I don't know, but I just heard from many members today. I'm getting the Zack Ryder DVD, so it could have been an inside joke. Who knows? But I don't know what they're planning to do with Zack Ryder at this point.
Speaking of DVDs, the Edge Think You Know Me DVD is coming out tomorrow, Tuesday, April 10th, 2012. You should pick it up because I've heard great reviews of it, and it's Edge, so it's going to be good.
But to touch back on this subject, Del Rio versus Zack Ryder, fuck me. Why is Del Rio around? Seriously, no one cares about this guy. When he came out there to the ring, I heard zero reaction. No one reacted to this guy at all. It was just his music playing, and that's it. And as I tweeted, you could hear the fans on mute, and that's the reaction you get from Del Rio. But yeah, like the only great thing about Del Rio is Ricardo.
Ricardo is way over. Ricardo's more over than Del Rio, and plus because Ricardo's great in the role that he plays.
And shout out to Michael on this. He pointed out in the chat that the last time Del Rio was relevant was 2010 when he had that feud with Rey Mysterio that put him over on SmackDown. I mean, that's pretty much the only relevant and good thing Del Rio has done to impact him as a WWE superstar. Because his feud with Edge, that wasn't great. His feud with Christian, that wasn't. It only lasted a week or something like that after Edge left. Then his feud with John Cena and CM Punk, that failed miserably. It's like Del Rio, he has become so weak, so irrelevant, so generic, so bland, so boring. Just fuck off. I don't know. But, I mean, he was good on SmackDown. Maybe he's a SmackDown guy, like Rey Mysterio is, because some guys, they do better on one show than the other for some reason. And maybe there's too much star power on Raw that makes us not want to care about Del Rio as much. But if you send him over to SmackDown, where there aren't that big of stars, he'd actually be worth watching. Because considering the guys you have on SmackDown, like Heath Slater, Hunico, all these other dumb fucks, Hornswoggle, no one wants to see them. And if you bring in Del Rio, who even though isn't that good, he at least he's better than them, and he means more than them. So maybe draft him to SmackDown and have him gain something there. But on Raw, like, I don't want to see this guy anywhere near on Raw or in the main event because Del Rio doesn't work for me on Raw.
Maybe, but also to touch on Rey Mysterio, the only reason why Rey Mysterio was mainly on SmackDown is because apparently SmackDown gets a high Hispanic or Mexican rating because he relates to them, and since he's from Mexico and stuff, so that's why he's usually on SmackDown. And when he was moved to Raw in that draft a couple years ago, it was just to get the ratings higher in the Hispanic market for Raw, which failed miserably. So I guess they're trying to do that with Del Rio.
I think it also has to do with Rey Mysterio, like the same reason I said with Del Rio. There's too much star power on Raw, so maybe someone like Rey Mysterio just doesn't fit on a show on Raw, whereas SmackDown, Rey Mysterio came up with the likes of Batista, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, JBL. You know, he had decent people to work with on that show, because on Raw you already had enough main eventers there as well. So, I don't know, maybe Mysterio has just been better as a SmackDown guy overall. Could be for the reason you said.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move forward here. We'll discuss. Well, do we really want to get into the Three Stooges again?
Yes. Let's
just rant about it and get it over with.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was really stupid, and the Hulk Hogan impression. Why? Hogan. Well, why do they continue to impersonate him and take shots at him? It just doesn't make sense. It's getting old. I mean, yeah, it was funny when Big Show did it last year, or the year before last, or whatever the hell they did it. But now it's just getting... Yeah, it was somewhere around there. But, yeah, he just, like, it's getting old now. No one cares. And I think that the fans could care less about Hogan right now, I mean, if Hogan showed up to a WWE event, I'm pretty sure they would still mark out and cheer for him, but Hogan, he's the furthest thing from the WWE fans' mind. They're more concerned about John Cena or CM Punk at the moment. They don't care about Hulk Hogan. But anyways, Kane, I'm glad he came out and did something that we all wanted him to do, was chokeslam the Hogan impersonator, which was Will Sasso, aka Curly. And your guys' thoughts?
Kane chokeslam TNA to hell. Props to you, Kane. But seriously, the real Three Stooges are Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and Dixie Carter. I'm not going to say Ric Flair because Ric Flair is a wrestling god. Whoa! But anyway, Hulk Hogan, fuck off. I don't care if it was the impersonator or the real deal or whatever. We all know Hulk Hogan didn't feel offended. What really happened in the back while Hulk Hogan was watching this was, oh my God, Vince, you're referencing me on TV, brother? Is that how big I am now? Did I finally become a big deal for you on TNA, brother? Have you finally watched me? Give me a call, Vince. Come on, brother. Come on. Hook a brother up at TNA, brother. Come on, brother. My back, brother. Come on. I can't last for 80 more years, brother. I gotta be in WWE one more time before I die, brother. God, brother. I gotta wrestle one more time. I can't not be in the spotlight, brother.
I need to face John Cena, brother, at WrestleMania.
Vince, don't deny your passionate love for me, brother. We all know you want to see me in a wrestling ring, brother. Come on, one more time. Hulkamania, brother. Hulkamania will rise all over you, brother. Come on, brother.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's just a joke.
Oh, man. Hogan.
But anyways, my thoughts segment was shit. Did not care. Well, Sasso came out as Hulk Hogan. I was just laughing at the patheticness of it. And then when Kane came out, I was like, thank God, segment's over. Chokeslammed Will Sasso. Segment over. Worthless, waste of time. Should not be on Raw. The crowd booed the shit out of the Three Stooges. I would have rather watched Impact than that. That's how I was.
See, Dixie Carter was in the back watching this. She was like, oh, my God, Vince. Thanks for giving us a cheap plug. Now we're going to get ratings on TNA this week. Ratings, guys. I have a boner. Or wait, I'm a woman. Excuse me. I have an orgasm, a wet dream about fucking ratings. Let me go finger myself now that Vince referenced Hulk Hogan, the awesome one on WWE.
I gotta go tell my mother so I can get my checkbook back. Yay!
Guys, this is the of the week. WWE put Hulk Hogan on television. We're going to get ratings. Yay!
2.0 ratings.
And then Hulk Hogan's like, oh, yes, brother. Yes, one more shot, Vince. Give me one more shot. Come on. I can't die before I be in the WWE again. Vocal cords are exploding. Ugh.
Oh, brother, I gotta go get tanned, brother.
Red and yellow. Hulkamania, brother. It's the best thing in wrestling.
I'm a real American. Fight for your rights of every man.
The NWO was the biggest thing in wrestling, brother. Even bigger than Hulkamania, or as big as Hulkamania, brother, you know? Anything involving me is just big. Because I'm a brother.
Oh my God! Wow.
I'm Hulk Hogan, and these Hulkamaniacs right here, they're gonna run wild on you, brother. All right, enough of that shit, because my voice is about to explode.
I mean, anytime we impersonate Hulk Hogan or John Laurinaitis, our vocal cords suffer for it, but we do it for you guys.
Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, Mr. John Laurinaitis. I am the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and the Permanent General Manager of Raw and SmackDown, Mr. John Laurinaitis, and David Otunga is currently sucking cock.
David Otunga is the future. David Otunga is the man. Look at that jello body. No wonder. This is why I signed him, so Vince could love me again. And Vince and Seth will boot me when he gets out of the company.
Now, as the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and the General Manager of both Raw and SmackDown, I'm going to give power to the people.
People power.
People power era. Hashtag people power era.
All right, that's enough.
David Otunga's gonna get a push because he has massive muscles, and he's Jennifer Hudson's wife. Oh wait, excuse me, husband.
We gotta move on. This is too funny.
And he uses baby oil like Randy Orton.
He's like the new Chris Masters.
The masterpiece, brother.
Okay.
The Harvard masterpiece.
Vince McMahon gets boners every time he sees David Otunga on television. It's like ratings.
Dude, I don't doubt that.
Oh,
we just totally ripped apart the WWE right there.
Support indie wrestling, people. Support indie wrestling.
Yep. That was awesome.
All right, we gotta move on. All right, then we go backstage to Brock Lesnar being interviewed by Josh Matthews, and Josh Matthews asks him, Brock, are you proud to be back in the WWE? And Lesnar's like, I'm proud of everything I do. And then he recounts when he was in the WWE the first time, and then he left the company, turned his back on the company to go to the UFC. He became the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, and he said, their success was on my blood, sweat, and tears. Brock, it was more than just you that made the UFC into what it is today. And then
he just did a lot. He just did a few good buy rates for them. Also, shocked that the WWE mentioned UFC because when Quinn Rampage Jackson was on to promote the A-Team 2 years ago, they just said he was an MMA fighter. They didn't mention the UFC or anything.
I mean, Brock Lesnar, that promo, that solidified him as a douchebag right there, pretty much, because he basically said that when he left the WWE, it became shit, which it really didn't. And then he went on to say that UFC relied on him. Bullshit. What is Brock Lesnar talking about? And who does this man think he is? And then he's like, John Laurinaitis is the smartest man around here for signing me and bringing me back. Because I'm Brock Lesnar. I'm the next big thing.
Oh,
Fuck
boy.
me. I mean, I'll give it to him. He cut a pretty good heel promo right there, but still, He's a douchebag. I hate him.
I don't like him either.
But this is going somewhere. Like I mentioned very earlier in this podcast, I really think that why the hell do I keep saying Brodus? Brock Lesnar is going to come in and basically be like the natural disaster to the current WWE roster, because if you remember last week, John Laurinaitis, to start off Raw, he told CM Punk that there are natural disasters coming your way, and I immediately thought of Brock Lesnar when he said that. And now that you look at it,
I thought of Typhoon.
and now that you look at it, Brock Lesnar has brought this disaster to the WWE by attacking John Cena and causing hell by punching his face in. So I'm guessing Brock Lesnar and John Laurinaitis and his clique of buddies are planning to take over the WWE, and it's going to lead to this angle where John Cena or CM Punk are going to get the title, or hell, even The Rock might get the title back just to save the WWE and put one of those guys over. I think that's what this is leading to. And if it's The Rock who ends up, quote-unquote, saving the WWE from this natural disaster and people power era crap, then I don't know how I'd react to it, honestly, because The Rock is not there. And if there is anyone who should save the WWE, it's John Cena because he's the top man, or it could be CM Punk because he's the second top man. One of those guys need to be the ones to go over Lesnar at one point during this entire angle. And if Lesnar takes off the title from Punk, I'm going to be pretty damn pissed.
Oh my god, dude. If they hand him the championship, I am so going off. I am going to freaking rip him a new asshole. I swear to God, he will die.
I mean, seriously, I could see them doing this. John Laurinaitis favors Brock Lesnar so much right now, and so does Vince. They're probably going to give this guy a push, have him bury the entire roster for the entire year until someone comes in. Yeah, trust me, that's going to happen. Someone is going to have to save us from this. Hopefully it's John Cena and he comes out on top, or CM Punk. But The Rock, I don't know. If he wins the title, what is he going to do? Vacate it the next night to John Cena or something?
Hell, I would rather see Rock as champion than Brock Lesnar. Even though
hell yeah.
Brock's going to win a lot, him as champion, what the actual fuck?
Right. So, that's why I question the logic in booking this match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar for Extreme Rules when they could save it for SummerSlam or Survivor Series or even WrestleMania or something like that.
They should do it at SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam. And then, maybe have John Cena or The Rock after that come out and whoop Brock Lesnar's ass or something. But, I could see them just having Brock Lesnar be the new face of the WWE supposedly for a year and dominate everyone.
Boo! Screw that. That's gay.
It is gay.
Okay, one night and he's the new face of the company. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of fucking sense, WWE, you shithead motherfuckers.
I mean, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna bury CM Punk? Is he gonna bury John Cena? I mean, you can't have him bury these guys.
But you might as well. I mean, if he's gonna be the new face of the company, like they say he's gonna be.
I mean, he did the same thing when he came out. When he first debuted, WWE had him fucking bury everyone there. Undertaker, The Rock, everyone. And now they're doing the same thing with him, and he's already over. He doesn't need to have these victories.
He'll probably beat Cena because he's the celebrity coming in.
And that's why I hate Lesnar. That's why I dislike the man, because he's refusing to put over another talent. He's refusing to not job out or lose to someone. Instead, he's here to make himself look good and win matches when he doesn't need to win these matches at all.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does. I mean, seriously, the guy has never, ever put over anyone. When he came up, it was all about winning. Now he's back, he still wants to win. It can't be all about Brock Lesnar here. WWE is bigger than Brock Lesnar, and they're really they're sucking his cock right now. And by the time WrestleMania comes, his cock is going to be worn out due to all the sucking done from Vince McMahon, because WWE is way bigger, and right now they're overreacting with Brock Lesnar.
God damn it, this man's gonna win every match he's in. God damn it, at WrestleMania 29, he will be main eventing. God damn it.
He's gonna do it because I am Vincent Kenny McMahon, and what I say goes because that's what I want.
I am
Triple H is like, one day.
Exactly. One day.
One day when is that day gonna finally come?
Anyways, Triple H taking over the company, that's a whole different topic. Let's not get into that tonight.
Yeah.
That's true.
And with that, we go to the main event, John Cena versus David Otunga.
Yeesh, what a horrible match.
I love it when
David Otunga, oh my god, he sucks.
Dude, that was an oil fest of a match right there. I mean, that's all you saw, oil.
With
it seems like Otunga has been sharing a lot of that oil from Randy Orton.
Orton's probably jealous because Otunga has a high baby oil intake now.
No, even worse. Orton is jealous because he's not the one out there rubbing that oil on John Cena, his best friend.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, come on, that match was crap. I would have rather have CM Punk and Mark Henry close the show and have Chris Jericho do what he did. That would have been way better to close the show. But the way this ended with John Cena and Otunga, that was just horrible.
Oh my god, David Otunga, horrible.
As the main event,
horrible. God damn, I would rather watch a fucking rookie in his first match and watch lots of fucking spots instead of watching the David Otunga oil fest.
Holy fuck, man. I'd rather have AJ Lee involved in the fucking main event than see Otunga. Come on.
Oh, he's probably better than him.
In this match.
Yeah, she can probably out-wrestle him, too, in the ring. Like, come on, AJ, show me what you got. Boom, kick to the nuts, David Otunga's down, AJ Lee wins. Seriously, though.
Hell, she was trained by Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal will own anybody.
He's a man.
Otunga, when Otunga is in the main event scene, well, not the main event scene, but in the main event for a night, you know there's something wrong there. I mean, WWE is really pushing this guy, and I don't see why they're pushing him. Because the only good thing about him right now is this whole lawyer gimmick and drinking coffee shit that he does. But other than that, he sucks.
He'll never.
S-U-C-K. Sucks. Chokes.
And anyways, this match ends with Cena submitting Otunga with the STF, and then after the match, Brock Lesnar, of course, makes the run and kicks Cena in the dick, hits him with an F5.
Well, actually, it was the thigh or the leg area, but yeah.
Well, he tried to low blow him or something like that. I don't know, but anyways, Cole, he's like, you have to wonder if John Laurinaitis is proud of that, you know. They're going back to the whole proud thing, and then now that's how Raw ended.
Well, the ending basically gave away now that Brock Lesnar has turned heel, and he is a part of the John Laurinaitis faction. So as I predicted, this is exactly what's going to happen now, and we just got to wait and see what's happening. But like I said, props to John Cena. This is the second week in a row where he puts over Brock Lesnar when he really doesn't have to, but he chooses to do so because he's a professional and he can handle the heat. So props to John Cena. He still remains as the man, even though he's taking so much shit right now from the fans, from Brock Lesnar, from everyone, and he's still coming out on top out of all of this. John Cena, major props to him. But that was a weak finish. What I would have liked to see was John Cena rip David Otunga's head off. That would have been a better finish.
Who wouldn't?
And on that note, guys, you know, that's our Raw review. Raw was pretty horrible tonight. And there was 13 minutes. This is a rough count. This is a rough count of mine. 13 minutes of actual wrestling tonight.
Wow.
You're fucking shitting me.
No,
Absolutely.
man, it's Raw. I mean,
Absolutely horrible.
that's not surprising when it's Raw. Seriously.
Oh my god.
Wait. How about the night or the go home show before WrestleMania? That night had no wrestling whatsoever. Remember
That's
that
different.
night?
They
It
were
was
just
just
pushing
squash.
Mania.
Yeah. Squash Mania, basically. I mean, I think the total amount of wrestling was 5 minutes that night. So this night was nothing compared to that night. But seriously, Raw needs to improve. They need to be consistent. They just got off the biggest show of the year, and this is what they do to continue the road after WrestleMania. I don't think so.
To be honest, Raw had 2 highlights, which was the opening segment and the Jericho and Punk segment, and what followed after, which was with him and Mark Henry. Otherwise, fuck it, Raw was shit.
Right, and I can't believe that we didn't point this out, but that opening segment to Raw between Cena and Lesnar was better than anything The Rock and Cena did for an entire year. I mean, why didn't Cena and The Rock do this? Seriously, why couldn't they do this on the go home show for Raw before WrestleMania? Just a fucking brawl happens. John Cena slaps The Rock right in the face. The Rock slams Cena onto the ground. They start going at it. Why couldn't they do that then? I mean, oh my God, I don't understand WWE sometimes.
And instead of giving tonight's Raw a rating, because we all know it's been crap, we're going to do something different, something out of the box, something we don't normally do. And Lucas and A-Rob, I'm going to have you guys list 3 things that you think that the WWE needs to do next week to make next week's Raw good.
All right, well, right off the bat, they got to have CM Punk gain the upper hand right before Extreme Rules right before their match. Have CM Punk come out on top at least one point in this storyline, and maybe have Punk, put Jericho in the Anaconda Vice, typing out like a little bitch, or go shoot promo style on Jericho and insult him, or something like that, because I think that adds more intensity to the feud. I mean, we've already had Chris Jericho do enough dominating. I think Punk should have the upper hand for 1 week at least. Number 2, if they're going to have Mark Henry versus CM Punk in a no disqualification match next week, then that has to live up to its hype, and I could see Jericho being involved in that. And 3, since Brock Lesnar is now facing John Cena at Extreme Rules, it would make no sense if Brock Lesnar did not show up. They need him on Raw next week in order to continue this. So, yeah, those are basically my 3 things right there. Brock Lesnar has to show up to continue this storyline.
Well, my 3 things would be, number 1, like Lucas said, Punk, give Punk some momentum, like get him the upper hand on Jericho somehow, and yeah, like they both do promos and Punk attacks them, gets the Anaconda Vice or whatever. Number 2, Brock Lesnar makes some sort of appearance on the show. Like, I don't give a shit if it's a fucking pre-tape. Just put Brock Lesnar on the show.
Yeah.
And number 3, I don't really know. Besides, push Extreme Rules.
Get over.
Yes, besides that. Extreme Rules, like, add some more matches to Extreme Rules.
Oh yeah.
All right. Here are 2 things that you guys did not mention. Number 1, less squash matches. No one wants to see that. Number 2, you need to start building towards Extreme Rules, your next pay-per-view. And number 3, I agree with you guys, CM Punk needs to look strong.
That's right. And before we end this, let's just give out some plugs on Wrestling Vengeance. We have Battle Mania making a return, and for more detail, go on WrestlingVengeance.com. Go to the competition area and check out what Battle Mania is all about there. Check out Cody's review if he's doing one for his hits and misses on the SOA Outlaw channel. And what else is there to plug?
Or just go to the site, join up today, WrestlingVengeance.com if you haven't already. Go follow us on Twitter at W_Vengeance_, and follow our individual Twitters. You can follow me at _CS10, Lucas at Lucas_Rojas27, and A-Rob at The Real F Legend. And that's going to conclude it. Peace out.